Hello my sweet friends, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our August reset. You guys know the drill. I'm not going to bore you with a super long intro because I can and I will. If I give myself the opportunity, we're just going to be yapping away. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Ella. I'm 28. I live in Adelaide with my husband and our two beautiful Cocker Spaniels. I am currently pregnant as well, which is a recent development, or it's not really recent, but you guys know about it. Like, I've announced it recently. So this month's budget is going to be a very accurate representation of what the last few months have looked like. I've had to be a little crafty when it comes to sharing the budget and talking over my goals, which we'll get into goals and achieving goals in a moment. But yeah, I do a lot of lifestyle vlogs, budgeting and personal finance videos. So if that is your vibe, definitely subscribe. Also give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoy. Like, it actually truly makes such a difference. I feel like that's such an underrated feature of YouTube, is that thumbs up button. And yeah, every month I do a monthly reset. I sit down and go over my goals from the previous month, my budget from the previous month, see how much we made, what we spent, what we saved, talk through our debt payoff journey, or just like how we're feeling about money. Just like a good money check-in. And then I set up my new budget for the month and set some new goals for the upcoming month, which the fact that we're in August is crazy. Every now and then I like to switch things up and also add in a few other segments. This month I wanted to talk through some of my current favorites. This could be anything from TV show, movie, current favorite podcast. I've got some products to share with you. Just a few bits and pieces that I've been loving that I just like wanted to chat about. I'll start off with the products. My skin has been in shambles. Thank you, pregnancy. And this is the only thing that has mildly helped. This is the TBH Rebound Skin Milk. Firstly, love the packaging, so fun. I've been using this both morning and night, just a couple of pumps. I have it underneath my makeup today. I just feel like everything applies so much smoother. I wake up the next morning and my skin just feels, it feels good. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just very soothing and very hydrating, which I really need right now. My skin is breaking out. We're also in the depths of winter here in Australia, so this has been a genuine lifesaver. I think it's meant to be a dupe for the Rhode Skin Milk. I really like it. Definitely recommend. Next is a makeup product, taking back to my 2014 Beauty Guru days. This is the Mecca Max. I don't know if I've talked about this before. The Mecca Max Pout Pop Lipstick in the color Top Down. This is one of their sheer colors. You can see just how much I've actually used this. I have it on my lips today. This has been my go-to lipstick. I really stopped wearing lipstick for a while there for literally no reason. I just love it. This is the perfect like your lips but better kind of color. I have zero fake tan on right now, so it's a little bit more of a berry color with my complexion, but when I'm fake tan, it's like the perfect nude. I love this. It applies really nicely, super hydrating, and I just feel like it's that like perfect color. It also lasts quite well for a sheer lipstick. Another thing I've been loving this month is my projector. Now I feel like this is a love-hate relationship because have I been using it every single day? Yes. Is it a problem? Also yes. I grew up in a household where we weren't allowed TV in our bedrooms. We had the TV in the lounge. We got our evening screen time. I'm one of 5 kids, so we had to be very methodical and very fair about sharing the TV, but no one was allowed a TV in their bedroom growing up. And I get it now. Like, I actually get it because it has become such a problem. It's not even a TV. Like, I can take it down. It's temporary. The projector doesn't have to be set up all the time, but we've left it set up, and it's like equally the best thing, but also like the worst thing for productivity levels. We have it set up in our bedroom because we have a big blank wall and it's perfect. It's so cozy. I love it. I've been obsessed with it. The one I got is from Amazon. I worked with Amazon on my Instagram, so it was gifted as part of that collaboration, but I would 10 out of 10 buy it time and time again. The quality is really good. I just really like it. It's so cozy, especially it being winter time. I just feel like it's so nice to cuddle up in bed, put on the projector, watch a movie. It's just so nice, but it is becoming a bit of a problem. So I think we're gonna slowly transition it to like a weekend thing. I just like haven't picked up a book. I've barely been reading, guys. It's so bad. Speaking of projectors and all things TV shows and movies, my last favorite is a documentary I recently watched. I think I mentioned this in a recent vlog, but the One Night in Idaho Amazon Prime documentary. I have never cried more watching a true crime documentary in my entire life. I don't know if it's because I've been following the case so closely or because I'm just pregnant, but I have truly never shed more tears watching a documentary in my entire life. Like, the whole 4-part series had me in tears. It was so well done. It was so respectful and just so touching. The interviews with the families and friends just really painted such a picture, and it was so focused on the victims and who they were and the impact they had on everyone around them rather than on the man that committed this horrific crime. Yeah, I'd really recommend. Obviously, if you're not into true crime, probably give it a miss, but thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know if enjoyed's the right word. When it comes to true crime, it's like, I don't know. So yeah, those are just a few of the things I've been loving at the moment. I would love to know what your current favorites are. If you have any TV show recommendations, any books you've been loving, products, I'm all ears. Okay, let's talk about goals, which honestly, I have been dreading. I am gonna kind of skim over a lot of these because I don't want to focus on it too long. I've been pregnant and it's really been about survival the last couple of months. I've definitely not been my most productive, inspired, motivated self. I'm hoping the second trimester will bring some of that energy back, but it really has been about survival and just like getting through the day doing the bare minimum in order to function and like do my job. So this really hasn't been on my radar. I've barely looked at my daily habits, my goals. I'm hoping we can get back to it. I don't want to be overly ambitious because I feel like I was in my July reset. I was having a good day and I thought I was turning a corner. How wrong I was. So I've set some goals for August, but if we don't get there, it's fine. I'm quite literally growing a human, so that's my excuse. Let's quickly go over last month's goals and see how we went. For personal, I wanted to read daily, didn't do that. I didn't read a non-fiction book. We did go to Illuminate Adelaide, which was really fun. I didn't do any baking. I actually couldn't think of anything worse. I haven't been in the kitchen. I've not been in the kitchen in like 2 months, and I didn't scrapbook. Again, all about survival. I did get my 8,000 steps daily though. I'm not gonna harp on too much about pregnancy and symptoms, but the term morning sickness, I feel like it's so misleading. I actually feel the best in the morning. Going for my morning walks every single day has been honestly the best thing ever. I've been able to keep up with that, and just, yeah, getting outside and getting fresh air has actually been really good for me. So I've been able to do my 8,000 steps a day, which feels really good. Financial goals, we didn't do a no spend week. We did invest $1,000 though, and I did finalize my taxes, at least on my end. They're now with my accountant, which feels really good. For career goals, we're still finalizing the first 2. I filmed my mid-year reset. I actually had so much fun filming that. It really highlighted just how well we're doing. Like I feel, I don't know, month to month, it's like really easy to get down on yourself and be like, oh, I didn't stick to my budget. You know, we had all these unexpected costs that popped up, but to go back and reflect and especially compare it to this time last year and see how we've been able to increase our income, put more money towards debt payoff, save more money, and also spend less in certain categories like eating out and coffee. Our coffee budget especially was like halved compared to what it was last year, and we spent less on eating out than we did this time last year. And it felt good knowing that our top 5 expenses so far this year are all in line with our priorities, our money values, and our responsibilities as 2 grown adults. It really put everything into perspective for me and gave me that extra bit of motivation to get through the last 6 months of this year. I did post 3 to 4 times a week on Instagram and TikTok, and I shared my exciting project, which was being pregnant. No surprises there. We didn't get to either of our home goals. That's fine. We'll just carry them over to August. Also for our home to-dos, I'm going to add organized pantry and clean up the garden. Every year we have the same problem. We have this beautiful tree. It's actually not even in our backyard. It's in our neighbor's yard. It's so beautiful, especially in summertime. Provides a lot of shade. Love it. Just the leaves, man. It's a lot. It really is. We need to do a lot of gardening the next couple of weekends. For career goals, I would love to sign 3 new sponsors. I'm really thinking ahead over the next 6 months and preparing for potential maternity leave and taking a bit of time off work and like what that looks like. Yeah, just planning ahead and being proactive about the sponsorships I do sign, and it's just something I'm aware of. Like I'm thinking about it. Continue posting 4 to 5 times a week on Instagram and TikTok. I really want to pick things up now. I have a bit of energy back. Famous last words. I really feel like I've turned a corner this week, guys. I went to the dentist. So brave of me. And then also do the money diary series. For financial goals, we are doing a no spend week. Again, I want to try and invest $1,000. Also want to start speaking with our broker. This kind of hinges on if my accountant finalizes my taxes. We just want to like discuss with our broker, see what our options are, whether it's refinancing this house, maybe exploring an investment property. I don't think we plan on moving. Like, I think this being our primary residence makes sense for us. I don't know, just like weighing up what our options are. And that all starts with a broker. Brokers are free as well. Free to you. Like a broker should never charge you any money. They make their money from the banks. So one of the best things we ever did, if you're looking to buy a house as a first time buyer, we sat down with the broker probably like a year and a half before we were actually ready to buy. And we looked at our income, our expenses, what our current deposit was, what we planned to save for our deposit. We looked at all the different schemes and incentives available as first home buyers. We discussed guarantors, all of the things. Like that is what a broker is there for. And then from there we had all our options and we could work out what our timeline was, and that really gave us motivation. It gave us something to focus on. So yeah, just want to sit down with our broker at some point and save $1,500 for maternity leave. That's my current goal, my current monthly goal. I don't know if I need to change that. I really actually need to work out and like crunch the numbers. $1,500 just sounded like a good amount. I really need to work out the numbers and see what I can afford or what I feel comfortable with. Keeping it super simple again with the wellness goals, 8,000 steps daily. And I would also love to get back to Pilates. My ideal goal is clocking 10 times this month. I don't want to set a weekly goal because there will be some weeks I'm sure where I am exhausted or I'm not feeling the best. So I don't want to get disheartened if I say like 2-3 times a week and then I can't hit it. So I think 10 times across the month I would feel really good about. And then ending with my personal goals. My first one is to put my phone away for 2 hours a day. Like physically put it away, put it in a drawer, leave it upstairs, whatever it is, like actually physically put it away. I'm pretty good about not touching my phone first thing in the morning. Like if I set that as a goal, If I don't, that's another story, but that's not usually a problem for me. I don't really touch it when I'm eating, or like if we're at the dinner table, I'm not touching my phone when I go out to eat with friends or I'm catching up with people. Like I'm not on my phone like that. I don't think I have an addiction in that way, but just like mindlessly scrolling, or I'll go to check something for work, like check an email or try and find a photo. Say I'm editing a thumbnail, I'm like, oh, I need a photo. Notification pops up, I click on it, I'm like, I'll just respond to this message really quickly. Wrong. That's how it spirals and I end up just mindlessly scrolling, and I really want to cut out that. I've been thinking a lot, and this kind of leads back to hopefully feeling better in the second trimester. I really don't want to lose that passion that I have for self-development and self-improvement just because I am pregnant and because I am in this really big stage in my life, a big lifestyle change, I mean, it's everything. Everything's changing physically, mentally, emotionally. If anything, I feel even more motivation to become the best version of myself as I become a mother and as I enter motherhood. And, you know, everyone's a work in progress. Like, this is something I'm forever going to be working on, and I'm definitely not perfect. But continuing to better myself and focus on myself so I can be the best mother, so I can be the best wife, I can be the best daughter, friend, whatever. I feel like this little being inside me has already given me, even through the first trimester trenches, has given me such a drive and such a motivation to do the things I've been putting off, to stick to the promises I've made for myself and just like really show up as the best version of myself. And one of those things is my phone. And I keep thinking like, and I see it even when I'm out and about, I'll see people with their young children. And this isn't me judging, it's just like an observation, but I've noticed how many people are like they're physically there with their children, but they're not there emotionally, mentally. They're just scrolling on their phone. And I mean, I'm sure I'll be guilty of this. Like, nobody's perfect. This is me literally never having a child of my own. But yeah, something that I want to be mindful of, and just trying to limit that scrolling when I am with my child is something that's like just a bad habit right now. And I would like to try and cut that out and reduce that screen time and that mindless scrolling. So when I do enter motherhood, I can just be as present as possible. I hope that makes sense. Kind of going hand in hand with that, I want to read daily. I'm really trying to find substitutes for that dopamine hit because it is a chemical reaction. Like, scrolling on social media does feel good. It gives you that little hit of dopamine. And so finding replacements for that, like reading. So I'm going to finish 4 books. 4 books. It's been a while since I've read 4 books in 1 month, but we're gonna do it. And then finally, I would like to do a digital declutter on both my phone, my laptop, social media. With that being said, let's get into everyone's favorite part. I think I might actually shift over to my desk. It's been a while since I've sat at my desktop, and we'll go over our budget, shall we? Everyone's favorite part, woo! Okay, let's talk money. Let's talk business, shall we? I always like to start by reflecting on the previous month, if you're new here, just so I can see what went well, what didn't go so well. July, I'm gonna be straight up, was a shambles of a month, to put it lightly. It was just unexpected costs after unexpected costs, and thank God for sinking funds. I also tend to lowball my income, so any extra I make usually goes towards extra expenses that we haven't budgeted for, or ideally in an ideal world it's going towards savings or extra debt payoff. That was definitely not the case this month. It just went towards expenses. We were over budget in almost every category. So you'll be seeing a lot of red, don't be alarmed. There is reason for it. It was just one of those months. Starting with income, we budgeted $3,000 for Nick's new paycheck. He got a pay rise last month. We weren't 100% sure what it was gonna be. So we now know it's $3,171.65 every fortnight. It was also a 3 paycheck month, which is lovely. I budgeted $10,000 for my business income. I made $11,674. And then for miscellaneous income, this was a dividend that was paid out. And then also like $450 of that was a refund from our friends. We booked some accommodation. We were meant to be going to Bali for our friend's 30th in October, but we unfortunately had to cancel because I'll be like 6 months pregnant. I just didn't really feel comfortable being that pregnant and potentially getting sick in Bali. We were fine when we went in April, like we didn't get sick, but we knew some people that did. Even our friends that have been going for years got sick just before their wedding, and yeah, I would just hate to be that sick and be pregnant. I'm sure I'd be fine, but just in the off chance. I'm also trying to limit my international travel as much as possible. I have 1 more international trip coming up, but that's to New Zealand, and we have reciprocal healthcare, so I feel fine about that. Our bills and subscriptions are always the most consistent part of our budget. They don't really change too much. And then we get into expenses. So, oh, the red is stressing me out, guys. It really is. Groceries, we try and keep our weekly food budget to about $150 per week. Normally we can stick to it, but I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant or, did I mention I'm pregnant? I'm so annoying. I'm pregnant. I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant and I have all these food aversions, like nothing really sounds good. So it's kind of like a roll the dice and see what sticks. Or if it was just one of those months where we stocked up on a lot more things. I think maybe we'll increase our grocery budget I'm trying to obviously be aware of like what I'm putting into my body, but the last 3 months has really been about survival. Yeah, maybe we'll have to adjust that, but petrol, we were $20 over, that's fine. Pets, I budgeted $100. We ended up having an emergency vet visit, which was $327.97 after insurance. A little 3 a.m. vet visit with Mabel Moo. Mabel went out for a wee in the middle of the night. Normally she'll just go straight back to sleep, but she was rustling around, could not get comfortable. I was like, what is wrong with you? After 45 minutes, I turned on the bedside lamp and I was like, oh my gosh. Her face was all swollen. I've never seen anything like it. Initially, I thought she'd been bitten on the face, but when we looked closely, it was actually her hoo-ha, her full, unfortunately. So I guess when she popped a squat, something bit her. I don't know if it was I don't know, I can't imagine it being a bee, especially in the middle of winter, but some kind of insect we think bit her and everything just swelled up. So $327 later, I will never regret spending that on my dog. We thought about waiting till the morning. It just wasn't worth it for us. We'd so much rather that peace of mind than if anything were to happen to her. Some of these categories I did adjust after my July reset. I thought it would be really obvious if I budgeted $1,000 for health. So some of these I have adjusted. If you follow my Instagram stories closely, you would have seen we got a dryer, which is what that home purchase is. We weren't planning on buying it this month, but with all the rain we've been having, it has just been impossible to stay on top of our washing. And this will be such a worthwhile purchase with us having a baby. So we finally invested in a dryer and we pulled that money from our home sinking fund, which is why I love sinking funds. Just takes away all of that guilt of dropping like $1,500 on an appliance. That way we could buy it on sale when the timing was right for us. It just makes sense. It does just unfortunately skew our monthly budget a little bit. Cleaners were $300. We spent $124.99 on gifts. We were way over budget for eating out. I have this weird pregnancy symptom where nothing sounds good, but if I am gonna eat, I want to eat out of home. Like if I had to say I had a pregnancy craving, it would be any food not made inside my home. I don't know what it is. Like nothing at home sounds good. I cannot explain it, but like the smell of my kitchen and the fridge, nah, I can't. Social, we apparently had a very social couple of weeks. Coffee, we were $36 over. I'm not too mad about that, especially knowing that our coffee budget is quite literally half from last year. I feel like that's okay. Hobbies, we spent 49 cents. Just on getting something printed. Transport, $70. We spent $260.88 on shopping. That was a belt for Nick, and I also bought some bras. My boobs are out of control, and any underwire bras are completely overstimulating me, so I got some new bras from Nala, and I love them. We spent $91.80 on entertainment. That was for Illuminate. $38.99 on books. We spent nothing on alcohol or travel this month. Doesn't mean we didn't have alcohol. I mean, I didn't obviously, but a lot of our drinking is done socially, so that would fall under the social category. Same with like eating out. I guess you could be as specific as you want when it comes to budgeting, but sometimes I find it too confusing. Like unless I have an itemized receipt of every single individual item, I'm probably not going to do that. It's same if we went on like a double date bowling. Bowling is to me an entertainment category, but because we're doing it with other people, that to me is a social activity. I basically just ask myself, like, would we spend this money and would we be doing this activity if we weren't spending time with friends or family? And that's kind of how I determine it in my mind. Our miscellaneous spending was quite high. We had our license renewal and then credit card fees. Our credit card was up for renewal, kind of snuck up on us. The date went and gone and we were like, oh, I don't know if that's something I could have negotiated or if we could have explored cancelling that credit card and then signing up for a new one. I think it's kind of too little too late. We do really like our credit card though, and it has definitely been worth it. It was also a big month for car expenses. Luckily, all of this came from our sinking funds, thank goodness. So we pulled that from our car expenses. This $815 was for a routine service, and then we also got a flat tire, unfortunately. So that was like $300 to replace a new one. And then we have a new category, which I have secretly added in the background. Baby McGrath. This is how we are going to be tracking any baby related expenses. So this month we spent $307.96. Nothing really on the baby, actually. It was basically all pregnancy announcement related stuff. So anything that we bought to tell our family, our friends, and we also did a little photo shoot, which was so much fun. So yeah, that'll be our baby spending category. I'm sure you guys will see me spending like my life depends on it. I've actually had so many people be like, don't spend money on your baby. And I get where people are coming from. I'm sure there'll be things that we buy that I look back on, I'm like, that was such a waste of time and money. I just think it's a rite of passage. As like a first time mum, there's so much uncertainty and I really have no idea what I'm doing. I can read all the books, I can listen to all the podcasts, I can go to all the antenatal classes, but until you're like in it and you know what you need and like have your first child, I don't know. And every baby is so different and you just hear so many mixed things. I'm sure there'll be things that I buy that we don't end up using, or just like our baby doesn't enjoy. Of course, when it comes to planning for those purchases, I will be as methodical and like planned as I can and do as much research as I can. Try and find the best deals, get cash back, buy things on sale. Like that is just who I am at my core. So I'm sure we'll save money that way. But yeah, I already had people being like, don't waste your money, just buy like the bare essentials. And I'm like, let me live. We've been waiting for this moment for so long. But yeah, we really haven't bought anything. I think we bought maybe a book, a children's book, and like a soft toy when we first went to like our first ultrasound as like our way of celebrating. But otherwise, I don't know, it hasn't felt real, and I don't know when it will feel real. And it's almost like not wanting to jinx things or get your hopes up too much. Like I'm really guarding my heart a little bit, but I'm sure with time we'll naturally, we'll have to buy things, won't we? Anyway, those were our variable expenses this month. A lot of red going on. It's not as bad as I think it looks. Like if we take away the dryer, which came from our sinking fund, and if we take away the car expenses, again, which came from our sinking fund, and if we remove any of the health expenses, which just like can't be helped, and the unexpected vet visit, and if we remove the miscellaneous expenses, all these random one-off costs that have just happened this 1 month, then we're actually under budget by almost $2,000. Unfortunately, that was not our reality. It has been one very spendy month, but thank God for sinking funds. And thank goodness I tend to lowball our income. And so if we go back and look, I budgeted or expected $19,000 and we brought in $21,681. So there was a $2,681 difference, which is pretty much this amount here, plus the money that we've taken from our sinking funds. Having a look at our sinking funds and savings, we put $300 into our travel fund. I think I would like to increase this next month. I have a couple of really exciting work trips coming up. Unfortunately, Nick can't come on either of them, so we would like to organize some kind of baby moon within Australia, ideally before the 3rd trimester, which is actually not that far away. So we really need to start saving and organizing that. Home fund, I put $750 into, and we took $1,644 out of. Again, took $815 from car expenses. I think we should do a little sinking fund check-in after this and see where all of our balances are. Our emergency fund is fully funded. We invested $966.32. I put $3,000 into my business account for maternity leave and an extra super contribution. I talked about this in my mid-year reset, but I really want to start increasing my super contributions. My balance is not bad, but it's not quite where I want it to be. We put $400 into our gift sinking fund, $150 into our rainy day fund, and $500 into our baby fund. This is separate from maternity leave, so this is for those baby McGrath purchases you'll see here. So then when we're ready to make those bigger purchases, if things pop up on sale or we just feel ready to buy them, we can pull from that fund. All things considered, even though our general expenses were a lot higher, because we were pulling a lot of things from sinking funds, we were still able to hit all of our financial goals and like our debt payoff goals. Our current goal is to pay off an extra $50,000 of our mortgage by the end of this year, which means ideally we set aside $4,200 every month to hit that goal. We're not able to do this every month, but the months we can, it feels pretty good. So overall, very expensive month. I feel like we spent so much money. We did $8,000 on just our general spending. Having a look at our spending overview, 38% of our money went towards debt, 17.7% went into savings, which considering we pulled so much from our sinking funds, I'm actually really happy with that. Our expenses were 37.6%, 0.2% on subscriptions, and 6.5% went towards bills. Having a look down here, most of our money went to our extra payment, business, for my retirement and maternity leave, mortgage, home. Health was 4.5%. This is definitely not typical, but makes sense given the era we're in. 4.2% on ETFs, 3.6% towards car maintenance, 3.2% on groceries. So these are all like this half or over half of the pie chart. Like I'm happy with that. These are all reasonable expenses. They're in line with our goals. That's July. Whew. Before we set up our budget for August, I wanted to do a quick sinking fund check-in just to see where everything's sitting at, and that way we can decide if we need to add any extra. So with the 2.0 spreadsheet, it has a savings and debt tracker tab, and this is where I keep track of all of our different savings. I've talked about our bank account set up in my payday routine, but basically pretty much everything stays in our offset account, our emergency fund, all of our sinking funds, any savings that we might have, we try and keep as much money in that offset account so we can offset as much interest on our mortgage. If you didn't have an offset, you might have a savings account, like a high interest savings account. It works in the exact same way. The more money you keep in there, the more money you're making or more interest you're saving. Because there's so many different moving parts, this tab and this spreadsheet really helps me keep in check what amount is for what. So I can see here we have $35,000 in our emergency fund. Our home fund, we currently have $2,326.60. Obviously we just pulled $1,600 from that. So I would like to see this higher because we do have so many things we want to do around the house, especially before the baby comes. So I think we need to step it up with that one. Our gift fund is sitting at $1,632.30. I'm really happy with that. That's mostly for Christmas and any other birthdays that we have left, which the last half of this year is a little birthday heavy. We have $450 in our travel fund. Car expenses, we set aside $165 a month. We started the year at $1,163.44. And even after our routine service that we just had, we still have $1,500 in. So maybe we can start reducing that a little bit. And for extra mortgage repayments, our goal is $50,000 and we have currently paid off $30,000. Which feels really good. And then we have $250 in our rainy day fund. This is just for like any random fun purchases that might pop up. Okay, well, I feel like that gives us a good picture of what we need to prioritize going forward. So I'm gonna pull up August and we'll set up our new budget. Payday, this will be the 13th and then the 27th. I always just put my business income as the first. I'm just gonna copy and paste this over from last month. And for my business income, let's have a look. I use the same spreadsheet for my business side of things. This isn't what I send to my accountant. I have a whole separate system for that, but this is just how I track it on my end. So it looks very similar to how my personal spreadsheet's set up. I have all my different income streams here. So YouTube AdSense, affiliates, paid partnerships, and any miscellaneous income. I'm expecting about $3,200 from YouTube AdSense, $7,000 from affiliates, about $15 from paid partnerships. This one, it's a bit unpredictable. Technically, I should be paid $15,000, but whether brands actually choose to pay that $15,000 is another story. So total business income should be about $25,700. Obviously, that's not what I take home. There's business expenses, tax, my accountant, travel, like there's just a lot of other things that go into it. I'm gonna say I'll probably take home about $12,000. Yeah, again, I like to lowball it and then it's a happy surprise if I make any extra. I just hate to set up my budget and then I don't make $12,000 and then I'm having to adjust from there. Bills and subscriptions, I just always copy and paste over from the previous month. Although I do need to actually make a little adjustment. I want to increase our water to $80. We basically have a bill sinking fund. So all of this money, I'll put $1,400 into a separate account for our bills. This is the only separate account we have from our offset account. All of our monthly and quarterly bills are direct debited from here. I've just noticed the last quarter or last couple of quarters, our water bill is slightly higher than $70 per month. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to adjust. I usually write little notes before I film this video because I tend to forget things. No, I think that's fine. I'm gonna copy and paste over these two. And we'll leave the extra payment for now. Groceries, I'm gonna budget $700 this month. I just wanna increase it slightly and see how we go with that. I'm gonna budget $250 for petrol. I'm gonna say $100 for the girlies. And touch wood, we have no extra. Oh, sorry. That was just mummy. That was just mummy. And fingers crossed, we have no other emergency vet visits. Health, what are we thinking? I don't foresee myself spending that much. Like I had my first antenatal appointment at the hospital we're giving birth at, and from now on I shouldn't really need to see my GP or have any extra appointments, ultrasounds, anything like that. I'm gonna try and play it safe and say 300. I'm gonna say 100 for home. Cleaners, 300. We'll say 100 for gifts. Treating others, 150. Eating out, I'm gonna put up to 500 just because I know myself. And I think it would be unrealistic to go from spending, what, $700? Yeah, $708 in July and then go cold turkey. We'll make a little adjustment. Nick has a bucks coming up. So we'll say $5 or $450 for social, $120 for coffee, $50 for hobbies, $50 for transport. I'm gonna budget $100 for shopping. Not that I can, like we don't need anything. I can't think of anything that we need, but in case there's anything that pops up, we'll say 50 for entertainment. Books, I'm gonna say 120. I've set myself that goal of 4 books. I wanna have room in my budget to actually achieve that goal and have books on my TBR list that I can look forward to reading. I feel like that will motivate me. We'll say $50 or $75 for date night, $50 for alcohol. Nothing on, oh, actually, no, nothing on travel. That may change, but we'll go 0 for now. We can adjust if we need to. $50 for miscellaneous. That should normally be a sufficient amount. We don't normally spend $500 in a miscellaneous category. July, she was an outlandish month. Nothing for car maintenance, thank goodness. And I don't know if we'll spend any money on the baby this month, but I'll say $250 just in case. Again, this is a category we can pull from our sinking funds for if we need to. Moving over to our sinking funds, I cannot emphasize enough how much I love sinking funds. I said this before, but they've quite literally become my personality in 2025. I'm just obsessed with them. And I feel like even more so going into this next season of our life and with all these things that we want to do, I feel like we are going to be utilizing this particular area of our budget even more. So travel funds, I'm going to budget $1,000 for travel just because or $1,500 even, just because I really want to organize that baby moon and we really don't have that much time. Like I'm already in my second trimester. So I want to prioritize that. I'm also going to say $1,500 for home fund just so we can get a wriggle on with those home projects. I'm going to reduce our car expenses to $150. At the moment we've been sticking with $165. Such a random amount. I can't think why. I don't even know how we came to that amount, but we have such a surplus of money in there. I think $150 is plenty. Nothing for emergency funds. ETFs, I'm trying to invest $1,000 per month. My current plan is $1,500 a month that I'm setting aside for maternity leave. Again, such an arbitrary number that I've just plucked out of thin air. I need to actually run the numbers and see how much I feel comfortable setting aside. For right now, we're going to stick with it, plus extra that I want to contribute to my super fund. So I'm going to go with $3,000. $400 for our gift fund, $0 in offset. We'll put $200 in our rainy day fund and $500 in the baby fund. That is $8,250. So that leaves us $859 left over, which does unfortunately impact this extra payment goal. I just think it's just one of those things, you know? Unless we can reduce some of this. But I'm also trying to be realistic. I'll put this at 0 because if we need to make any baby purchases, we can pull it from our baby fund. Okay, that leaves us with $1,109. Okay, well that will be it. If I make any extra income or we're able to stay under budget with our variable expenses, then this will be going straight towards the extra mortgage payment so we can stay on track with that lofty goal. It is a lofty goal and I knew that, and I obviously didn't know if or when I was going to get pregnant this year. So maybe that's something we're going to have to adjust with time. I don't know. I just think it's important to beef up these sinking funds with everything that we are trying to do. We can't do it all. And that is just the reality. I mean, $1,100 extra on our mortgage is still a good amount. Like I'm happy with that. Okay, well that is my August budget. My camera is about to die, but I love you guys so much and I will see you very, very soon for another video. Bye guys.